This is a 1984 Silvercrest 28 by 48, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We've got the 2 bedrooms here at the end, front door and living room, and then the end on the side down there is the master bedroom. The master bath is at the same end of the house but on the opposite corner of that. So as you can see, it's got a couple feet of snow on it. It's not leaking, but it has in the past. They've got this added on thing here that's going to have to come off. This is the wood stove that I believe actually goes with the house. It's a little rusty, but that's how it is. Front door could use painted, and the siding has been painted a few years ago, but could obviously be better. Going in the front door, we've got the bathroom straight ahead. I'll give you a shot from here. You can see up against the ceiling, this part of the roof did not bow down. That part right there did. It's got 2x6 roof trusses, and so that's kind of an issue because what happens is they sag. Now obviously it's got 2.5 feet of snow or 2 feet of snow up there. It's not sagging badly, but if a person wanted that fixed, you'd have to go in from the top, and it can be fixed. It's not that big of a deal. It has 2x6 walls, it has vinyl windows. There's no real smell in here. There was a little bit of a pet odor in one of the rooms I noticed, but not a whole lot. So this is I'll show you the front bedrooms first. We had water damage around the water heater, and I'll get to that in the other bedroom. The water heater burst and is not in the house. It has overhead lights. Silvercrest was a high-end builder. They're comparable to Marlette's. This one has seen some wear and obviously needs some cosmetic type stuff. The floors are solid except right below the water heater area. And the stuff that's wrong with this is primarily doors, trim around the doors, things like that. It does have sheetrock going in here. Here is the area back there where the water heater was. Again, overhead lights. A little grungy. I don't know if you can even see that. It's a little grungy. Here the carpeting has been removed. And over there where the water heater was in the wall behind this, water heater was accessible not through the closet but through the outside of the house. And it's got a little hole. You can see down there below it, there's another little hole in the utility room, which is right behind that wall. Here in this, there was a little tiny spot of water in the ceiling. That was from evidently some time ago because it's dry. These are good sized bedrooms. The back of the door, I forgot, the back of the door in the other bedroom has a hole. You can see a little hole in the front. This one has a little hole down there. The back is okay except for a little hole up there. Overall, change them out. They're $70 a piece. Big living room, fairly open. Again, you can still kind of see that droop on the ceiling. I don't know how well it's showing up on the video, but it drops down a couple of inches there. So this is bathroom number 2. Could use some new linoleum. It does have good lighting from that and that. There's the countertop. It does not have drawers. The brown paint could use changed. Decent toilet. And it's got a really nice bathtub, one piece, fiberglass. I don't know if you can see all that. It doesn't do well in the light, but that's all in good shape. It's vaulted in here, and I don't see any evidence of any water leaks. There's the front door. That's the master bedroom. This area back behind that wall is where the dining room used to be. I think they built this wall in there. I'll show you. It's a weird little room over there. Okay, here's the kitchen. It's missing one door cover up there. It's missing a drawer, but I know where the door face for that drawer is. Like them or hate them, it's got some big fluorescent feature lights there, which really bring the light in. It does have a dishwasher. It's got some dings on the surface there. I've got a tiny little bit of bubbling here underneath, like it's separated. It doesn't seem like the floor is. Now, there is a little bit of soft spot right there. Yeah, I got a little soft spot there. Not a huge amount. There's the I believe that's where the range goes. Yeah, it is, because there's a cord for it on the ground there. It's an open layout, open to the living room. I wish there was better light in here, but this is the utility room. There's a little spot over there with a little hole in the floor right by that water heater area. There's your electric. I believe it's electric. Have to double check that. There's the door that I was telling you about for the front of the drawer that goes in the kitchen. Anyway, it's got a built-in, or appears to be a built-in shelf there. It needs new floor coverings throughout. I've got pictures of the outside. So I'm not going to try to open that door because I know there's several feet of snow on it. Oh, one other thing. This here is a step here. This has been recovered. So what I'm walking on here is a layer that was put on top of the original floor. You can see they did something there, like they lifted it up and put something underneath it or something. There's something underneath here, so it's going to need some repair. I figured a person would throw some paint on it, change out the cabinets, and they'd be well on their way. Carpet, cabinets, a little bit of floor work. Obviously it's been being used on the farm here for some storage. This has above it, evidently this was an area that leaked. This is how they fixed it. Coming through here, we've got a little hole in the door here. Again, change the doors. It's a big master bedroom. It's probably 15 feet by 12 feet. There's the master bath, and here's that weird room that I was telling you about. Looks to me like that used to be the dining room. And they walled it in with this wall to the, see the right, and made it into this L-shaped room here, which is quite strange, but it would have made a good dining area, but instead they use it for something else. I don't know what. Okay, and I have to admit, I smell something that smells a little bit like cat in here, so that's not particularly pleasing. Anyway, so be aware that this did have probably a cat in it, and there's some cat smell. I love cats. They taste just like chicken. I'm kidding. I have one. He claws me every time I make that joke. All right. And going into the master bath. Garden tub needs some new tile work around it, but it's a solid tub, missing the shower head. This door looks to be intact. And there you go. So overall, I'm trying to see if I got any soft spots here. I don't see soft spots, but I can't tell if that's a soft spot, but it definitely could use some. It needs some pretty heavy TLC in this house. There's the spot where there's a fluorescent light. It's supposed to have a cover below it that's missing. Give you an idea of the size of this room. It's pretty big. I don't know what that is in the. It looks like they had something poking through the ceiling up there, and then they put a piece of tape over it. Overhead light. This is the marriage line center of the house. And so it needs carpeting. It needs some work. It'll never be perfect. There's that. I don't know what they got there. Just little stuff. It's a little bit on the rough side, but it does have 2x6 walls and a metal roof. And I'm sure it would actually fix up pretty nicely, but it's going to take some work to get it there. Mostly handiwork, not so much expense work. There's the inside of the front door. And there's another little water stain I just noticed right there. Old one, I would assume. I'll check it. Yeah, it's dry. They've repaired some there. So it's had a couple of leaks in the past. Here you can see, hopefully more accurately, some of the worst of that bowed down spot. I don't know if that really shows it, but you've got a drop there. There's where you can see it. It's got a, this is the worst spot. It looks like about a 4-inch drop between where it is and where it should be. So I'm sure that that might go up in the summer when there's not 2 feet of snow on top of it, or a person could always fix it from the top, so you wouldn't have to cut that open. If you did cut that open and you wanted to come in this direction, you could come in from it this direction and just sheetrock the ceiling. But I'm taking a lot of pictures of this because it's really hard to see what you're looking at on a video. So it's got a lot of potential. Again, there's on that wall is those 2 walls that create the L shape. Actually, the wall there to the left, and then the wall, the short 5 or 6 foot wall to the right, I think is what got built and made it so there's not a dining room back there. There is room, there's plenty of room though for a dining area right here. It's about, I don't know, 12 by 12 foot area there. So it's certainly enough to put a dining room here, and then if a person wanted, they could use the area off the master bedroom for a nursery. So thank you for looking at the house.